Hello, today I am doing journal number 7. Um, the readings this week was for the first asynchronous class where we went over different body systems, and today I'm going to speak on the digestive system. This is a system in my life that has very much so spoken quite loudly to me in my life and has been really informative in a very holistic way, like not only physically, but also to my emotions, my mentality, and like my spirit. And I explored this system recently in 2 different ways. One, through just like energetically journeying through the digestive system, and then the second way through physically eating and drinking and exploring it that way. One thing that I really appreciated about these practices was bringing more awareness into my stomach that is actually like breaking down the food, or even just like energetically going into that place and like feeling into the acids, and like how much my stomach and my intestines really help like process foods and emotions and thoughts. And so as I like journeyed, beginning with my mouth and my throat and my throat, or my like esophageal tube, I felt like a bit of more like tension like in my jaw with like the chewing, but also in my throat. And I don't necessarily think this has to be connected to the digestive system, but it is interesting that it is like the beginning of the digestive system that I'm feeling this tension, like, which to me is like could be informing me of like my relationship to receiving right now, and how I am tying this in like mentally and emotionally. I feel like I'm receiving a lot in my life. And so maybe there's like this tension, or this like contraction and tightness that is connected to my ability to receive, or I could say like my inability to receive a lot right now. And then like journeying through, like once I got to my colon, I could definitely feel it was like the momentum of moving through my digestive system didn't necessarily stop, but it felt a little backed up, or like, I could definitely like feel where there was poop in there, where like the digestive system begins to slow down. And what this is informing me of is that, like down through my chest and over to my left side and through my stomach and my intestines, and the part of the digestive system that is actually processing the foods, the emotions, the thoughts, this felt very easeful. I don't think that which informs me that I'm processing my food with ease. I'm processing my thoughts with ease. But then as I get into my colon and I begin to feel the system slow down, this is showing me that there's like a slowing down as the process to letting go of what is not nutrients for my body, what is not wisdom within the emotion, what is not serving me within my thoughts. It begins to slow down, but still there, I was able to like move through, but almost like I'm just like kind of like swimming through this thickness, trying to get through my colon, and like, like feeling the poop on the sides, and like, wow, like you could use a good cleaning. Like I could use like a good enema probably. And But then getting to my rectum was really interesting because it almost felt like a door. It's like the momentum stopped. And in some ways, physically, this happens. Like if it didn't, then I would just, as soon as I eat and it goes through my colon, like poop would just come out of my butt. And like, it's what a thing to do a journal on. But so in a way, physically, yes, there kind of is this door, but even through the intention of moving through this door, I felt it very closed off. And what this is informing me of is my challenge of letting go, and which I can tie back into the beginning of the digestive system, where it's like if I'm having more trouble receiving so much, it could be because I'm not actually letting go of what no longer needs to be there. This can be information of any kind, not just the information slash nutrients of food. And I really do see this parallel in my life. I see the symbolism of this really playing out right now, and I've seen it a lot in my life. First, I'll speak on like currently how I'm exploring my digestive system in this way. Is that I feel that there's this adjustment period happening for me as I am in college now. I think I've like kind of spoken on this in other videos. And there's a lot of new information that I'm digesting. I do feel like for the most part I'm comprehending the information that I'm receiving in my classes. But sometimes I notice with my ADHD where to focus and to really receive and retain the information can feel a little more challenging. And also to like not connecting this to school, but like, you know, seeing where like my rectum is like really tight, where like the digestive system begins to slow down when I enter into my colon, seeing where like I'm being informed of where I'm struggling to let go, and also like just a little like personal piece of my life. I like me and my roommate are not the most compatible, and sometimes we like get in arguments, and I find you know, when I'm driving home, this dread hits me and I don't want to come home. I don't want to be around my roommate. And then I like get home and I'm still angry. And like, you know, like yesterday I noticed where I was just like really hanging on to this anger. I like, you know, I processed the emotion. I was like, okay, this anger is informing me of something. I can even see where I am making a decision to move towards a better vision that I have for myself that doesn't involve me living with a roommate that I'm not compatible with. But and so like the processing is happening, but then the actually like letting go of the anger, letting go of the argument, letting go of the frustration, letting go of the resentment of what he has done, the way that he's treated me or not treated me, is like something I struggle with. And you know, like my friend told me, like just let it go. It's like it's not worth it. And I was like so irritated, like just let it go. Like it's not that fucking simple. And like and so this is like another way that I'm just like receiving this information that I'm really struggling to let go. And I feel that because like and I believe that the mind, the body, and the spirit are all connected, that if I'm emotionally and mentally struggling to let something go, that I can work with my digestive system to help me let these things go. through something like an enema, or massaging my colon, or like eating bitter foods, and even more like with an intention, and like really bringing a lot of somatic awareness into these meals that I'm intentionally eating to help my digestive system release more. And it's interesting that I will just kind of speak on my past a little bit. In the past, twice I have gotten really sick in a way that my digestive system is very involved with the sickness. And both of these times in my life has been a time where I'm extremely stressed, and there's like a lot. One time I was in the military, one time I was in, which is like really toxic environment in my opinion, and then the other time I was in a relationship that was really toxic. And both times I kind of hit this point of overwhelm, of not being able to receive more, to take in more, mentally and emotionally and spiritually. I was like just like so overwhelmed, and so not in a conducive environment for myself, that's like, yeah, conducive for myself and my well-being. And what happens is that there's so much coming in that I'm struggling to process, therefore struggling to even let go, because I can't even process it all because I'm so overwhelmed, that then physically I begin to struggle to eat. And and then it gets to the point where I can't really eat, and if I, even eat just like not even a handful of food, I experience a lot of pain in my stomach, because I am, because it's like met with a lot of gas, and I get gas pains because of I'm dysregularly eating, because my appetite isn't there, because it's like all my appetite is going through trying to process my life. And then I lose a lot of weight because my body and my appetite that will not receive a lot of food, because I'm receiving so much from other places within this holistic body of mine that includes thoughts and emotions as well, and energy. And so then I lose a lot of weight. When it happened in the military, I lost 15 pounds in a week. It was really fast and very severe. And in my relationship, it was over the time span of a year that I was extremely sick. It like very much so traumatized my body. And when I left that relationship, I was 99 pounds at 25 years old. And where like I should be like 130. And so, I would consider myself like really sick at those points in my life. And I just see where my digestive system is a body system that really informs me of states beyond my physicality. And I feel really grateful for that. And I feel like the more that I bring somatic awareness to this body system, the sooner I can pick up on cues of what my digestive system is telling me, so I don't get to the point where I'm losing weight, or I don't get to the point where I'm not able to eat. And instead, if I, bring more awareness to it, I can begin to pick up on those more subtle clues to be able to shift things so I don't swing so out of balance to the point of traumatizing myself. And on the other side of this spectrum of my digestive system, I sometimes, at different times in my life, I have felt very unfulfilled, like I'm not doing anything with my life, and I'm not studying anything, and I'm not working, and I'm just kind of sitting around, and I begin to get this spiritual hunger for more in my life. And when this happens physically, I can become very gluttonous, and I can eat a lot and kind of fill this void with food. And even if I'm not hungry, I choose to reach for the cashew butter and crackers or dates or whatever. And most of the time, when I experience gluttony, I'm also experiencing a spiritual or emotional hunger, some kind of hunger for more. And so, yeah, it's times, so it's kind of like the opposite, where there's like so much in my life, then like my appetite is like, no more. My stomach is like, no more. But then in times where mentally I'm like more, then there's this habit connected to my digestive system where I'm eating a lot. So it's really interesting. And yeah, again, like I said, I'm really grateful for the information that I can receive through my digestive system. And it really just shows that like these body systems are somatic, and they are connected to the body, of course, body system, but also they communicate so much more than what is going on with our physical body. They also communicate with us what is going on with our mental bodies, with our emotional bodies, and with our spiritual bodies. And I feel that this is definitely not something I learned in school when I learned of the body systems. We learned it on strictly a physical body level. And I feel that to bring a more holistic approach to the body systems, to schooling systems, is something that children could really benefit from. And it's another lens to explore the body system that could be more contemplative, allowing them to like apply it to their lives. And like maybe this is just like my personal preference of like contemplative learning, of being able to apply what I'm learning to my life, because then I actually can digest it and make connections. And there's so much in school that I didn't digest. I just like remembered and then shat it out when I no longer needed it. And there wasn't like the processing stage of it, of like applying it. And I feel like to implement a more holistic approach to exploring the body systems within public schooling systems could allow children to actually digest the information better. And yeah, and it definitely is something that, as I am like in this contemplation and making this video, like finding clarity, that it's definitely like closer to the approach of how I would like my children to learn, rather that is like through like a Waldorf school or like homeschooling or whatever. Like it feels important for my children to learn in a contemplative way the body systems, and be able to explore them not only on a physical level, but to realize how they are our friends that speak to us about our mental and emotional and spiritual state as well. Yeah, I'm really appreciating working with the body systems right now in class. yeah, I think that in specific, I'll keep this like on a personal level, but not like an intimate level, to like respect that request. But it seems like a trauma that I experience in my life that is probably the most present trauma in my life. It seems like it has been exacerbated in the past years. I'm not quite sure if it initially formulated within the past couple years, but it definitely got like poked at really hardly and triggered in the past couple years. And now is something I'm learning to work with. And the nature of this trauma, when I connect it to body systems, I would say the two main body systems that it is connected to is my digestive system and my nervous system. And this trauma is a trauma that I developed or that was exacerbated during the time of the relationship that I'm speaking about, where I was 99 pounds and couldn't eat and really, really, really sick, and was, my nervous system was in shock from what it was receiving, and that really directly tied into my digestive system, almost as if my nervous system on overload, my digestive system was trying to process what my nervous system was taking on, but it couldn't fully process it, and so then it impacted my eating. And this is actually the first time that I have looked at this trauma through the lens of body systems in relation to one another. And I'm really appreciating that. And I feel that this is something I could contemplate deeper and probably receive some insights, and also maybe even some ways to work with this trauma that it seems to be the most present in my life, through working with it through the body systems, and through really getting to know my digestive system and my nervous system better, getting to know how they work in relation to one another, and getting to know how each of them respond when the trauma comes up, and to learn where my inner resources are and those beginning points where it's beginning to inform me of almost like inflammation that is happening. So yeah, I'm really enjoying working with the body systems right now and all the connections I'm able to make contemplatively in my life through the body systems. Yeah, so I feel complete with that. Thank you. Have a good day.